Play began 1 hour late on the final day of the second Test match at Lord's. The rainstorm that swept across the ground at 10:20 was just 40 minutes early. Had it come on the scheduled start of play at 11 o'clock, the pitch would have been wet once the covers had been removed, and Underwood and Gregg would have been in their element against the Australians. The Australians started at 97 for 1. McCosker and Ian Chappell, the not-out batsman, and it was purely an academic target, that 484 they had been set to win the match. Certainly, once the first hour had gone, there was no chance of anything but a draw or an England victory. We joined play in the first over of the day, John Snow bowling to McCosker. It's a good-looking shot. It's a starter, and Edwards just the man who has to chase it. Well, that rain hasn't slowed the outfield down at all. It was a good, crisp stroke. And it takes McCosker into the 50s. 101 has come up as well, so McCosker's half-century coming up in the first over of this final day. That's a good shot. No chance of cutting that off.
Played that pretty well, dropped a dead bat on it, certainly straightened that one. Good illustration there of how to play that good, accurate leg spinner. Right over the top of it, dropping the wrists, playing it straight onto the ground. So that's England's solitary success so far as Gregg comes into the attack. Two short legs, a slip, a silly point. Nobody out on the boundary on the leg side, and John Edrich going out on the square point boundary. And straight away into action. Short one there, a loosener from Gregg, chopped away by McCosker for a single. Leaving it this time to Barry Wood. Barry Wood, the other man on the offside. Only two of them there, apart from Amos, the man in at silly point.
Well, I suppose he thought of driving that one and then changed his mind.
Underwood now to Chappell. That's short. So the whole time the Australians waiting for the short one. Another lethal shot through the offside by Ian Chappell. I think his leg there was well outside off stump. Yeah, it's a good yard outside. This partnership has now put on 90 runs. England here desperately needing another wicket before lunch, certainly. Tony Gregg to Rick McCosker. That's a better one. Two slips, David Steele and Tony Gregg. Down they go as Underwood comes in again to McCosker. A little bit of flight in that, pushed away quietly for a single to John Edridge. And that's 150 up. McCosker moving on to 74. Now it's the Australian captain facing Underwood. And he sweeps it away uppishly on the leg side, but quite safely. Tony Gregg trying again. The batsman is Ian Chappell. McCosker is 75. The captain is 46, Ian Chappell, now facing Gregg. He sweeps him down to deep fine for 4 runs. And Ian Chappell completes his 50 with that shot. They had 100 for the partnership a few minutes ago. No joy at all for England so far today.
Good shot from Chappell. Barry Wood is the fieldsman. Shot. Been playing the sweep quite frequently today. Each time the bowler has strayed a fraction. Well, there's no movement. And Tom Spencer says no. Chappell made no movement at all. Let's have a look at that one again now. This is the first real shout of the day. It was taken by a man at short point. And now it's Steele coming around the wicket to McCosker, who's on 79. And that is out. Steele has done it again. He's broken through, this time in his second over. Rick McCosker, the first wicket to fall on this final day, LBW to Steele for 79, and the second wicket goes down at 169, and there it is again. He played right across that, playing it away onto the onside. It looked as though it was just a straight ball. Also looked as though it might have struck middle stump halfway up. A long stint of concentration for Rick McCosker. Leaves the field now, 79 against his name, having made 29 in the Australian first innings. That's an interesting start. Good heavens, what a shot to start with. Magnificent six by Greg Chappell, the first ball he's received in the second innings. Picked it up beautifully, and now the man has gone around to that position at deep backward square.
Beautifully struck leg sweep, that really perfectly timed shot before. Sweeping that one away to Underwood. David Steele to start his 7th over. The chase round for Underwood, the lone man out on that mid-wicket area. And the 2 runs there to Ian Chappell, bringing up the 200 for Australia. Too much enthusiastic applause there. So Ian Chappell moves on to 75.
That ball turned, Jim. It looked as if it turned quite sharply. Yes, it did, and also it lifted. Well, that's 4 runs. Beautiful shot by Ian Chappell. There is no mid-off there. And that's Ian Chappell's 12th 4 as he goes to 80. What a brilliant piece of fielding there by Tony Greig. A bad ball. I'm not sure that it wasn't a catch. Oh, yes, it was. Very definitely a catch.
It's all the way through for 4. Wasn't all that short either. It was a good shot by Greg Chappell. Very quick movement of the feet there. No ball. Bit of catch in practice for Barry Wood. That's away for 4 more. Anything that's been dropped the slightest bit short, and Chappell has taken very heavy toll of. Moving on towards 3-figure mark here. Ian Chappell on 86. He's the 4th highest run getter in Test match history in Australia. good long look and an error of misjudgment there by Ian Chappell, allowing that ball to strike him on the pad. So Ian Chappell, the Australian captain, falls to Tony Greig with a score on 86. Played a couple of sweep shots from round about leg stump prior to that. And that one looking to be a perfectly straight ball from here. See, his left foot hasn't gone very far down the pitch. Just outside the crease, no attempt to play it, and up goes umpire Spencer's finger. So a fine innings there from Ian Chappell. Really seeing his side through right past the middle of the afternoon here. Eventually falling for 86 with a score on 222. So 222 for 3, but still only 2 Australian wickets gone down here today.
And what a good ball. Oh. That was a good delivery. See how sharply that ball turns. And Graham Gooch just failing to get to it.
Well, umpire Addy's given that as runs. I don't know that Underwood's all that pleased about it. But it takes Greg Chappell on to 29. 240 for 3 wickets. Peter Lever's the man coming round under that. A vital catch this. And he couldn't quite make it. 2 runs to Greg Chappell. Chappell getting that, I think, on the outside edge. A little bit of dust flew up as well. Lever couldn't quite make the ground.
That's 4 runs. Certainly can't bowl short outside the off stump to Ross Edwards. It's money for jam to him. So the 251 up, 3 wickets. So Ross Edwards moves on to 15, 34 to Greg Chappell. And it looks as if Tony Greig is going to take the new ball. So it's going to be John Snow from the pavilion end with the new ball to Greg Chappell. Well, that's 4 runs. A very friendly full toss outside the leg stump, which got what it deserved. Yes, this is only John Snow's 4th over of the day. He's dropped him. Yes, David Steele has dropped him at leg slip. Came out pretty quickly. Greg Chappell chipping it away. And it's hit David Steele in the tummy and down onto the ground. That was rather a bad miss. That's a full toss, and that's gone down for 4 runs. So both fast bowlers with the new ball have dropped a full toss at the batsman, and each have been dispatched for 4.
That's a good delivery from Lever. When he bowled from the pavilion end this morning, he was getting a little bit of extra bounce. So with this second new ball, Snow has had a chance dropped, and Lever has just fired that one past the edge of Ross Edwards' bat. And a good delivery it was too. Edwards was late on the stroke. He was beaten for pace. In the end, he played straight. but the ball just moved away enough to miss the outside edge.
3 slips and the gully, 2 short legs, 3 short legs there. And pleasantly struck through a big gap there, no mid-off. Chase, unavailing chase there for Dennis Hamis. And Greg Chappell in turn going through to his 50. Full of good shots. Been overdue for a few runs in the test match, missing out at Birmingham in the first innings here, but making up for it now. 50 coming in 97 minutes. So 6 and 6 fours in it, and made out of a score of 273 for 3. And again, no problem on the back foot, pushing it away through mid-wicket for 4. Short again, another glorious shot from Chappell. Forcing it away through extra cover. Really has played some wonderful strokes. Numbers and figures and things. So a single there to Ross Edwards brings up the 300 for Australia. He's made 28 at this stage. Greg Chappell 68. Little applause from the members, but the cricket certainly lacking interest and excitement now.
That's a great shot. Well, Ross Edwards continuing on that good form he showed in the first innings when he made 99. He's done it again. Another good firm stroke by Ross Edwards. Really cracking that square cutaway. And what a stirring fight back this has been today by Australia, and some good fighting cricket too by the England bowlers, striving for that breakthrough. It's a good shot. I don't think I'd like to be David Steele standing in that spot there, just 3 yards from the bat. Good shot. Takes Ross Edwards on to 46 now. It's a very productive over for this right-hander. 5:30 is the earliest the game can end. The schedule is 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And if that reaches the boundary, it will be Ross Edwards' half-century. And it has made it. So Ross Edwards, 2 half-centuries in this Lord's Test match, and Tony Greig has called it a day at 5:30. So the second Test match is drawn, with the Australians 329 for 3 in their second innings. Greg Chappell and Ross Edwards, the not-out batsman. Greg Chappell 73 and Ross Edwards 52. The first 2 days, I've said before, and it's worth repeating, they were 2 of the greatest days cricket I've ever seen since I've been mixed up in the game. It slowed down in tempo towards the end, but this does happen in cricket, and it was still absorbing today when the Australians at times were fighting for their lives. In fact, I thought that if they lost a couple of quick wickets today, that they could have been in real trouble with some of the lower order batsmen coming in different circumstances from those that were operating in the first innings.